RA 7277, or the Rehabilitation and Integration of Disabled Persons in the Mainstream Society. The RA 7277 is an act of providing rehabilitation, self-development, and self-reliance of the disabled persons. Here are the sections that the RA 7277 comprise. Section 1. The RA 7277 shall also be known as the Magna Carta for Disabled Persons. In the Section 2, Declaration of Policy, the grant of rights and privileges for disabled persons shall be guided by these principles. First, disabled persons are part of the society and must be given full support to their total well-being. Disabled persons have the same rights as other people, meaning that just like us, they are also given the rights that they deserve. Third, it should be the main concern of the government to help the disabled persons in their rehabilitation so that they can attain a meaningful, productive, and satisfying life. The state must also recognize the roles of the private sectors that promotes the welfare of the disabled persons. According to Section 3 of Magna Carta or RA 7277, this act shall cover all disabled persons. Section 4. Here are some definitions that might help us in understanding more about RA 7277. Disabled persons are those suffering from restriction of different abilities as a result of mental, physical, or sensory impairment to perform an activity in the manner or within the range considered normal for a human being. Next is impairment. Impairment means is any loss, diminution, or aberration of psychological, physiological, or anatomical structure of function. Next one is handicap, which refers to a disadvantage of an individual resulting from impairment or disability that limits or prevents the functions or capabilities of an individual. Next one is the rehabilitation. Rehabilitation means it is an integrated to physical, social, cultural, spiritual, educational, and vocational measures that create conditions for the individual to attain the highest possible level of functionability. Social barriers refer to the characteristics of institutions, whether legal, economic, cultural, recreational, or other any human group, community, or society, which limit the fullest possible participation of disabled persons in the life of a group. Next is the Section 5. It is written in the Section 5 of RA 7277 that the persons with disability must have the equal opportunity in terms of employment. They shall not be denied in accessing to opportunities for suitable employment. Next one is the sheltered employment, which is Section 6. It is said there that if suitable employment for disabled persons cannot be found through an open employment, as provided in the immediate preceding section, the state shall endeavor to provide it as means of sheltered employment. Section 12. Access to quality education. The state shall ensure that the disabled persons are provided with adequate access to quality education and ample opportunities to develop their skills. The Section 13, or the assistance to disabled students. The state shall provide financial assistance to economically marginalized but deserving disabled students pursuing post-secondary or tertiary education. Aside from access to quality education, nowadays, people are also um, giving opportunities to persons with disabilities in the use of scholarships. While in Section 15, vocational or technical and other training programs. The state shall provide disabled persons with training in civics, vocational, efficiency, sports, and physical fitness and other skills, meaning they can enhance their vocational skills and other skills. Section 19. The Rehabilitation Centers. The Department of Health shall establish medical rehabilitation centers in government provincial hospitals and shall include the annual appropriation the necessary funds for the operations of such centers so that they can develop the persons with disabilities. Section 20. Health Services. The state shall protect and promote the right to health of disabled persons and shall adopt an integrated and comprehensive approach to their health development, which shall make essential health services available to them at affordable costs. While in Section 21, the auxiliary social services, the state shall ensure that marginalized persons are provided with the necessary auxiliary services that will restore their social functioning and participation in community affairs. It is just like the rehabilitation centers and many more that can provide support that can help the persons with disabilities. The Section 22, Broadcast Media. Television stations shall be encouraged to provide a sign language inset or subtitles in at least one newscast program covering events of national significance. That's why sometimes we observe on televisions that there are people who uses sign language in the bottom corner of our TV or television. Section 29, or the system of voting. Disabled persons shall be allowed to be assisted by a person of his choice in voting the national or local elections. The Section 32, or discrimination on employment. No entity, whether public or private, shall discriminate against a qualified disabled person by reason of disability in regard to job application, procedures, hiring, promotion, or discharge of employees. The, the employee compensation, job training, and other terms, conditions, and privileges of employment shall be given to the persons with disability. So, overall, the Republic Act 7277, or the Rehabilitation and Integration of Disabled Persons in the Mainstream Society, consists of 50 sections, and I only summarize and highlight the important parts of this section of this article. Thank you for listening.